133,200 remain.
Right, so the thing is that I don't know that the 300,000 that we quoted, and then we said, okay, we're gonna get this from Chris. What I also think has been being paid is like for sickage and all that type of stuff is all going toward COVID expense. So we may end up with 40,000 expenses.
I don't think it includes 24, 25, and 26.
No, I'm just talking about even
Oh,
get
sickage
through.
and ladder back
Well,
just
when
to
you
get
add it
through
all together,
23.
when you add everything all together, since Natalie's been calling sickage so much to get get those things done,
Yeah.
that was something that wasn't figured into the $300,000 water
Oh,
bank.
we're live now? Okay.
Okay.
Did you hear that, everyone? It is streaming. So you never know what it's going to pick up, even back there. Thanks, Crystal. Yeah, yeah.
What is a cell tower dump?
Cell tower dump, that's what they were talking about yesterday, that Zach had to do on some case.
For phone records?
On phone records. To get locations and tracking. They were talking about it yesterday.
Okay.
Oh, and take this. Wait, no. Does this go with, or did you have, that's the sheriff? Isn't that the rest of the sheriff's? Okay.
I think so.
The ROE had already been paid. I'm sorry, this must be the sheriff's thing.
That is.
I thought there was one already in there, but.
He's done.
I think so.
No, this isn't just sheriff.
That's what.
There you go.
This isn't just sheriff. It's got the coroner, assessor.
Oh, so maybe it's all of them?
Huh?
It was just
Yeah.
sitting here, so I apologize if I.
No,
Well, I was close enough on the payroll. Got your finance, building grounds, the insurance issue.
it does have some sheriff
So I don't
on
know
it.
what the finance is yet. I haven't.
Finance. This one?
These are the all.
Hey, Scott, when you do your report, will you come up here and sit down and use the mic so that we're streaming?
Oh, they are?
Yeah,
Might have been
and we
better
are
off.
now. Thanks.
Huh? Okay. tired.
Yeah. Been a long week. Did we get many bids for property casualty deals?
What is it?
You know how many bidders? What's the deadline for doing this? What's the deadline for that?
Just past my,
No, I mean for us to make a decision.
I think it was first. Lance is doing it. You heard from Lance?
No.
Rabies vaccinations and rabies.
Do you know who this is? And is this okay?
Looks like t-shirts. I don't know who we ordered t-shirts for, but probably sheriff's office.
Hey, Walker. Don, do you know on this one? Is that okay?
There's Act 2. We had a deputy.
So yesterday you were going to stream it because I told my people.
We're streaming.
Okay,
We
good.
are now.
It's just not on the screen, so
Yeah.
thought maybe it wasn't. So okay.
This is for that, I assume, deputy.
Okay.
And this is where uniforms come from.
Okay, all right. I don't know if
Okay.
Put this under whatever staff.
I'm still on sheriff's, I think.
These are all.
Oh, okay. Should I call him? Hate to bug him. He didn't answer.
Okay. Well, I still got more bills here, so
Yeah.
we're done with this.
Don, I'd go ahead and,
Okay, I got two more. Jump in.
maybe you can't leave early if he doesn't show up.
Hmm.
If he doesn't come, you can't leave early.
No.
Or we just adjourn at
Yes,
5:15.
yeah.
Okay. Here's the phone. Here's the last one. These have to go back to the annex.
Okay. I can get in there. I've got a key. Yeah. Tonight?
Can I go? Okay, everybody. Is this on? Are we on? There he comes.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We're just getting ready
You take
to
this.
call to order. Roll call. Derek Ross,
Yeah.
Lance Kendrick, Don Foster, Rita Hoskins. Everybody's here. Our first item on the agenda was a recommendation for house insurance. Do we need to go somewhere else?
I don't think you're on, or you're not close enough to it.
I'm not close. Hello?
You gotta be real close.
Real close? And of course, my voice ain't helping any, but, okay. She over there? You ready?
Oh, okay.
Huh?
I just put my notes.
Okay. You put yours.
There we go.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, I have my notes and I put them behind all the rest of this.
Are we doing health insurance? Are we following the order?
All right.
Are we following the order now? If we are, you're up.
Am I up? Okay. Can you guys hear me? All right, great. We are live streaming, and
to the agenda here. We've already called it to order. Recommendations for health insurance plans for 2026. We did a survey. We had 29 responses from the survey. 100% of the people that responded to the survey chose to stay with the current PPO and HSA plans. So there were no alternate plans. Nobody chose that. Out of 29 respondents, we still probably had some more, but there were some glitches with how the survey went, but at least we tried to get it out to everybody to get everybody's input on how they would show or what they would choose to do, and they all would prefer to keep the current PPO 700 and the HSA 5,000, I think it was, and not go to those two ACA plans. So that's where we're at for that. So those will be the recommendation to the board, that we stay with our current coverages. As far as what's going to be paid towards those coverages, that's still to be determined as we go into the budget process here. But at least we know what plans we're going to be on. So the second thing on the agenda is open bids for property and casualty. I believe that's what these are.
Are you going to give a vote on the recommendation?
We probably should do have a motion
Oh.
on what we're recommending to the full board.
Well, then
You just-
I would make a motion to the full board that we remain on the PPO 700. I hope I'm using these terms right. PPO 700 and the QHDHP 5,000, which are the current Hope Trust plans that are being offered to the employees. So I'm making a motion to stay on the two current plans that the county offers to the employees.
Okay.
And second.
All in favor, say
Aye.
aye. All opposed, same. It is approved to send to the full board. Okay, go ahead, Derek, with your other.
So we have a bid for the property and casualty from Snedeker Risk Management, representing ICRMT.
Oh, okay. Didn't realize that.
And we have a bid from the Counties of Illinois Risk Management Agency, represented by Gallagher. Okay, so yeah, it looks like we have our two bids. One was from Snedeker Risk Management and ICRMT. And the other one is the Illinois, what was it? What did I just say? Illinois Association of Counties, represented by Gallagher. So we have two quotes. Sorry, I'm turning my speaker off. Okay, so I will go through the quotes, review those, come up with some questions, and then we'll be having an insurance meeting in the future to go over the questions and have the representatives come and do a presentation between the two. So at this time, I don't have a recommendation to one company or another, just opening them. So
At this point, we're tabling it to the insurance committee
right,
to do the review and report back to the full board. Okay?
that'll work.
I just see you do have SRM people here if you think of any questions. that you
Not
want.
at this point, no.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, his voice is a little gruff, so, he was just saying.
Sorry, I have recently had vocal cord surgery. And this is the best it's going to get for me. Sorry, my My kids have already announced their displeasure at me not doing this 40 years ago, so I couldn't yell at them. So I can't get any louder than this, so please speak up if you have a question. You're going to work on that?
Yeah.
Okay. Status report by Treasurer Scott.
I don't really have anything new to report to you, except we did get our income tax, so we do have a $169,000 balance in the general fund right now. That'll be almost maybe enough to cover the payroll. So whatever your finance bills and your building and grounds bills, and then our health insurance. So you're probably looking at about $150,000 to $160,000 shortfall
For the month of September?
for the month of September, yeah. I'm only authorized to go to 250 from the liability insurance. We've already done 190.
90 short, if we take if we take the remaining of the liability approval money, we're still 150 short,
No, it won't quite be that much.
so it'd be,
I'm authorized up to 250, I think, if I remember right, or 240.
so we're 90,000 short,
Yep.
and we're not receiving any of the property tax yet.
It won't come out until the end of September, and most of it will have to go toward paying our loan back.
Yeah. I'm just thinking the cash flow wise.
So as far as your bills, you'll have to authorize to go to a higher amount from the liability. We just need to remember that when we do our budget next year, we have to subtract what we're borrowing from liability because it'll have to be repaid.
Well, and as far as the balance that's in the liability fund, I think after we made that motion last month, it occurred to me that there was the proceeds from the hail damage that were sitting in there. So when you said what the balance was, did that include those proceeds?
It did, yes.
So we didn't really have as much in there as we thought
No.
we did. So,
But at the end of the month, they'll get a distribution for the liability insurance and the Social Security. Social Security be paying back liability.
okay.
And the liability fund will get a distribution, but it's shortened from last year's tax levy, so.
Well, I was on record for voting no on the loan, but what I'm having a problem with is as we continue borrowing next year's dollars to pay for this year's expenses, that just means we have less dollars for next year to budget for.
That's
So, and so as we get into our budget issues here, every dollar that we're spending now, if we don't have a way to pay it off before the end of the year, it's just going to be paid off with next year's money.
Yep, that's correct.
Okay. So right now, we're going to have to borrow about another, what, 105? What'd you say to get us through September?
I got 60, so we're going to at least have to have another 100,000
Okay.
to get us through the bills, and that's just for this month.
October, November, which,
We're going to have the same issue. But it'll be replenished, but from the property tax. It has its own tax levy, liability insurance, and then the Social Security will be paying it back. The only thing that won't be paid back is going to be the general fund portion.
Are you aware of any other revenues that are supposed to be coming in between now and the end of the year that we're not accounting for, or we shouldn't?
We will get a landfill payment at the end of October, and that's basically about it. I know the sheriff has gotten part of his resource officers. He got part of that, which that'll show up in next month's sheriff's portion.
Do you believe that landfill number is figured into the budget?
Yeah,
So it's not additional money that we're going
No,
to get?
it's not
money we've
additional.
already accounted for?
Yeah.
So that's not really going to help us then? Okay.
Yep.
is there any additional revenue that you believe the county is going to get that we haven't accounted for in CIC or in the budget?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. All right.
And all departments have paid their
Yep,
portion of the contributions they agreed to make towards salaries and all that.
yep.
Last county board meeting, someone asked Scott if I had paid that money. I have paid that money. And you made a comment, Scott, that I hadn't paid enough to cover the stipends. Would you like to correct that statement?
Did you pay an additional $25,000 more than what you were already given?
I sure did.
We don't have it on record.
Well, I'll tell you the figures. From 22, fiscal year 22 was 56,000. This was before any stipend ever came into play. So however you want to feel that 56,000 was for, that was to help the general fund with expenses. In fiscal year 23, the same. In fiscal year 24, 86,000. So do the math, it's more than 25. Actually, if you consider I paid an IT stipend for Becky Jenkins that keeps this operation going. Also paid that. So if you include that stipend, that 56 becomes 62. But yes, I paid every dime of it. And every time I'm not in a meeting, it seems like there's a bash from the treasurer's office against me, and I'm getting tired of it. So if you'd like to correct that, knowing those figures, that'd be great.
All I know is the 80-some thousand that was in there was appropriated at the beginning of the year, way before you ever gave the other.
No, it wasn't.
It was
It was
appropriated
not.
in the budget.
You can go back and look, but it was not. I increased it to 86 because I gave stipends, and those are my promise. The stipends are my promise. The 56 is what I was giving before any stipends. Anybody wants to sit in my office, I'll show you. Okay? I don't appreciate it.
I'll go back and double check it, but
Appreciate that.
I don't know what all the funds that were transferred were for. I do know that one of them was for a 6th person within your office. Was one of them. But I don't know what prior to that, what the other part of it was for.
Sure, go ahead. Along these lines.
I'll find a microphone. I'll just go over here.
Okay.
No, you're fine. Well, this is the room I work in every day, so I do know that you have to talk right into the microphone for anybody to hear. But I just have a few questions. We're still on the agenda item regarding the financial reports, and I just have a few questions on whoever wants to answer them, because I eventually received an email that Mr. Circle's office sent out Saturday at about 11:46 a.m. thereabouts, that had his financial reports for the month of August, which are the standard, monthly reports that you send out, showing month-to-date, year-to-date budget, percent used, and the amount remaining. And the reason I'm confused is that I took a look at that, and then I was talking with Mr. Gleckler about certain items in there, because in the one report, the first one that I looked at, I noticed that the circuit clerk fees and the revenue, this is the, I believe, Department 11 total revenue, if I'm not mistaken, which is used for your major revenue report that you used to prepare, that it was not showing the money from that rather large case that we settled in August. And Mr. Gleckler showed me his receipt where he had deposited that money on August 25th, and it certainly wasn't reflected in the circuit clerk fees month to date as a revenue item in your report. But then Mr. Gleckler pointed out to me that in your email, we have two different reports. The one that was regenerated at 11:05 and 51 seconds a.m., which is the one I was looking at. And then in your email, there's another report, the exact same account off the system at 11:10 and 3 seconds a.m., and all the numbers have changed.
That was the September one. I gave you the revenue for September. I didn't send out a secondary entire report.
Well,
I only sent out the revenue side of it to
so,
give you an idea of what had come in since the 1st of September.
okay, so that's
But
what,
it was tied to the same report. It was
So-
tied to the same email.
so what you're telling me is that the, even though the 21,000 from that case hit in August, it actually is hitting in the September report.
Yes.
Okay, so then let me ask you this, that helps clarify that tremendously. You indicate in the body of the email that you got 70,000 from the tort liability fund in September, and I see that noted as a loan item. But you also said that you took 120,000 from the tort liability fund at the end of August.
We did, but we didn't give you the expense side of it. I only gave you the revenue from September. It wasn't from August. That would have been for the 1st of September.
Well, my confusion is I don't see the 120,000 anywhere.
It'll show up in the September one.
But you just told me this is the September one.
That's the revenue side. That's all I gave you was revenue.
Well, then how come the 70,000 is showing up? You said you did two polls, 120?
It's showing up on the expense side of it. I can pull the entire report and send it to you tomorrow.
Well, I'm still confused
And the
because,
120 will show up on it.
but I'm still confused. You're counting the 70 as revenue in September, and you did the 120 in August, but you're not counting that as revenue in the August report?
I'll have to go back and look at it.
Well, I mean, that's a pretty big number, and what confused me is that I know Mr. Ross is trying to build the budget, and I just want to make sure the numbers
He's
are
probably
right.
got it on his spreadsheet here. Did the 120 show up in August?
I didn't pay
In
attention.
August. Yeah, it's under the loan proceeds right here in August.
Where are you showing that?
Under loan proceeds.
But in item 11, revenue type,
No, the very first page of the 70 page that ends August 31st, 2025, it has line item 001004511, loan proceeds, month to date, 120,000. Year to date, 1.218. So that looks like it got added to our anticipation note loan balance. Would be my guess, is that instead of putting it as a revenue someplace else, it looks like it just got added as a, added to our loan that we owe for our anticipation note. So it may have been put in the wrong area, but it is there. And I think, and this goes back to your point about trying to balance the budget, a loan isn't a revenue. I mean, so I don't know why the 70,000 wouldn't have put where the same place the 120 would have been put, because if we're borrowing money from one category or one department to another, that's not revenue. That's just, revenue's already been received by the other department. We're just borrowing money that we're gonna have to pay back, which is where I think we have a problem as we continue to borrow today's or next year's money with this year's loan. So, but
Well, okay, then I got another question then. So the 11:05 a.m. report is August.
Is what now?
The 11:05 a.m. report that you attach your email is for the month of August.
Through August, through August.
yeah, period date 8/31/25.
Yeah.
So that looks like it was through the end of August.
Okay. So that total was $319,700 some odd dollars. And so then you're telling me that you, on September 13th, you have already booked as revenue $310,448, which is pretty darn close to what the whole month of August was. So does that mean that the vast majority of the money that we get every month is already in before the 15th of the month?
No. Most stuff comes in through the middle of the month. The only thing that comes in early is the sheriff's fund, the fees, and the circuit clerk fees. And we usually get them the first of the month, and the sheriff does a transfer the first of the month. It's usually used up on the first payroll.
Well, according to this report, you've already received the state's attorney reimbursement by September 13th.
Yeah, because it comes through with the circuit clerk fees.
My salary reimbursement from the state?
Oh, your salary reimbursement?
Yeah.
No, it comes in right toward the middle of the month. So it would have already been there.
So it came in before the 13th. How about,
So wouldn't the sheriff and
okay, how about,
public defender and
how about sales tax?
sales tax varies. It doesn't come in the same envelope. All the salary reimbursements come in the same envelope.
Okay, well, as of September 13th, then the sales tax had brought in 76,000.
And it probably was in there before the 13th then.
Okay.
If it's on that report, it was in there before the 13th.
Okay, well, I guess that's the question I'm asking. The amount of revenue that was in the door by September 13th is almost exactly the same as the revenue that was in the door for the entire month of August. So do we have even more coming in? Or is this a really unusual month for some reason that we got all our money in the door before
Got it in earlier.
September 12th?
Yeah. Income tax was the only thing we were waiting on, and it's in there now, but it wasn't in there the 13th. It didn't come in till, well, it come in Friday, so it would have been the 12th.
Well, again, your report for September that you're saying it has income tax of $43,792.
It came in Friday, which would have been the 12th. So
Okay.
it was on there.
Okay, so,
They usually come in right at the middle of the month.
okay. And the other thing, we were at this is just more of a curiosity thing. We were at an IT meeting yesterday, and our internet was down all weekend here. Were you able to use your email over at the county building?
It worked. I mean, you guys got them, so it did work. So I don't know.
Well, our
I know our DevNet was down when I first got in there because I come in for 6 hours Saturday and printed off tax bills, so. And I couldn't print them when I first got in there.
Okay. Well, we'll just have to have our tech guys look at that because they told us that if our internet here at the courthouse is down, it's going to be down.
I don't think we're tied together, are we?
They
Anymore?
told us we were.
Yeah, as of yes, I thought you guys were tied to the sheriff's office, but apparently it's going the other way.
So
So,
we'll just have to take a look at that to figure out why your email worked and mine didn't, so.
I don't know.
Okay, well, that clears up that confusion. So the 11:05 The one format later was September.
Do what now?
So your report on the revenue, 4 minutes after August was the September report.
Yeah,
And it looks like almost all of it came.
it was all in the same email.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But I had to print off the report later,
It was two
because I
separate.
printed one first and then I went in and done the other one.
Yeah, and then you must have scanned them in and
Yeah.
and sent them out. Okay. Well, that clears up that confusion, but that looks promising though, that if almost all of our money came in by September 12th, is that probably the first time that's happened all year, right?
Yeah. It did come in earlier this month for some reason.
That's weird. Okay, that's all I had on his report.
What's that?
Walker, we're kind of all helping with minutes. Do you feel the need that any of that discussion go in minutes, or are we okay now?
That's up to you guys.
Yes,
Can I ask a question about our report as well?
sure.
Do you want me to?
Yeah, come on.
Thank you. I was looking over those reports as well, on the cash reports, and just noticed that the health department's balance in the cash was negative on the report. So I wasn't sure why that would be. Okay, because I'm like,
I can't answer that one because I've never looked at yours.
okay, so all those accounts then that are on that cash reconciliation report, you just look at the income tax or the income clearing one, is that, so I just need to double check those myself?
Yeah.
Okay, because it is not including any of our deposits from August, is my best guess. So that would be, I'm sorry? So the cash reconciliation report, that report, to my understanding, is when CIC, whenever bank statements come in at the end of the month, correct me if I'm wrong, your office reconciles each of those accounts. Because I know like in July, so they go in and put in all of our direct deposits for the month and our interest. And so that wasn't in there for this,
And
for
Don
August.
hasn't done August yet.
Okay, so I guess my question leads me to ask, so are any of those other accounts also not correct, possibly?
If they have direct deposits, they're probably not, because she hasn't reconciled yet.
Okay. So I just want to be clear that our account is not negative at the bank or on our QuickBooks either. I mean, we're going to be close, but we're not there yet, so
I
anyway,
get on there every morning, make sure nothing's in the red.
yeah. So I just wanted to clarify.
Now, she hasn't
That-
reconciled. August
So you guys go into those accounts and make adjustments to those accounts based on the bank statement? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Bryce, got?
Follow-up, yes, I couldn't hear everything. So, my understanding is the 1105 report is from August,
Yes.
and the 1110 report is through the middle of September?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do the
Does it
13th.
show that on there where I would have understood that?
At the top,
No.
it says the
It's
period.
not on there. I can't find it. I'd like somebody to point it out to me so that I know what I'm looking at. Page one maybe would have?
Yeah,
Yeah, page
should've,
one
at
would
the
have.
very top.
But all I did was revenue here,
You can see it on the.
just so everybody would know what it came in.
Okay, so.
Does it show it
so
on the top of the, well,
The three-page report didn't have the dates on it then?
nope,
No, it'd only be on page one, guys. So,
Yeah.
1105
through period 9. Yeah.
is through 831.
8/1 to 8/31?
12.
no, these.
Oh, 12/1 to
full-
8/31.
full year.
It shows it on the first one, Bryce,
Those pages
through
right
And
period
then the
9.
second one, 4 minutes later, is for the
September.
first half of September,
Yeah. Through the 13th.
12/1 to
No,
just
Yeah.
the month, just the 2 weeks of
Well,
September.
no, it'd be from 12.
From what?
From 12/1 to 9/13.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Hey Bryce, while you're up here, and I apologize, but we often skip back and forth as we're reviewing the bill. I've got a couple I just wanted to ask about, and one is the postage. And I don't know if you guys have talked, but last month, we approved 2,000 in postage.
Correct.
Are you asking for more now?
I asked for 8,000 and you asked me to spread it out. So I agreed to 2,000. And now I'm having to come back again and ask for 2,000. I'd like to have 2,000 a month. I'm budgeted 10, I'm only going for 8. But wanted to spread it out and I agreed to that. I think that's reasonable. But I can't stop at 2,000. I got postage I have to send out, so. 2,000 a month is, sorry I wasn't clear about that, but
Well, it may have just been with me. You guys are,
instead of going for 6 now, I still agree to 2 every month.
so this month
We
we're
don't have to come back
approving
to
2.
Yeah, that's what the highlighted, it's highlighted on there.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry, it just says, there's a sticky that says hold until explanation
Okay.
from Brian.
There it is.
So we're paying 2. The
2,000 a month.
recommendation is 2,000.
Yeah. Instead of a lump of 8, 2,000. And 2,000's already been done,
Yeah.
so 2 for the next 3 months.
Thank you.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And my other issue, and this one's not yours.
Huh?
This one's not yours.
Oh, okay.
I don't see this as a bill, but it's from Two Rivers, and they're asking for $800. They're saying, please consider our request for $800 and include it in your budget. And on the invoice, it says assessment. But
It's from
this
Two Rivers.
year- Two Rivers, yeah. This year, when we've had things like, the Soil and Water Conservation District, others, I think there've been at least one more, we've not given funds to outside organizations just because of our situation. And I'm thinking we should tell them the same.
That's fine. I wasn't aware that it was we pay our dues for belonging to Two Rivers, but I don't know what the extra would have been
Do you
for.
think that would be it? Is that
No,
what they mean
it's,
by assessment?
no, I think we already paid for that. So that's what I'm confused about.
What is,
For this year's allotment.
from Two Rivers?
For this
Is
year.
it Two
as in-
Rivers RC&D?
What was that, what folder was that in?
It wasn't in a folder, I don't believe.
Well, they're actually I want to say their fiscal year matches the state's, so it's a July 1, so maybe they're sending it out for this year's to be paid before next June. So maybe that is our annual amount then.
Specifically for the Access Illinois Outdoors program,
Oh, well then I don't know what that is.
for our allotment, I guess, for that.
Let's just pull that and I can send a question and ask it.
Okay,
So how much was that, 800?
800.
We'll take 800 off the bills.
Off of which one?
Oh,
That's what I want to know.
what
Off-
folder did that? I would say administration, but
Say, John, oh, here it is. Yeah, it's under administration,
Administration?
administration.
I don't know. We've got Sickich in it and Tiger Hawk.
Yep,
Is that all administration?
that's administration.
Okay.
So we want to hold it.
So the administration.
And Mr. Filbert, this ironically kind of brings us to your point of trying to track where things go. So the $70,000 loan is actually in administration 00101114511, but the $120,000 loan is actually in the non-departmental 001004511. So I go back to, maybe it's a bad term, but the garbage in, garbage out, to where if we're not consistent in how we're keeping track of stuff, it makes it difficult for yourself or any of us to be able to go into these reports and be able to verify where should that have gone. And so I don't know how it was determined that one loan got into one line item and another loan went into another line item when they were really both for the same thing.
Yeah.
So, sure.
I'll be brief. First of all, I was, and that's a great point, because, we need accurate reports. And the way it works is that the county board has to rely on accurate reporting coming from the treasurer's office. I mean, that's his statutory duty. And so then the next question is, what are the tools that the treasurer's office is using to make sure that accurate reports are generated? And I think that's been an ongoing dispute amongst everybody for a very, very long period of time, well before I got here. So that's something that needs to be straightened out. And so I'll just be very quick on this point. I was somewhat distressed when I did not see anything on the agenda that we've had for a long period of time regarding the audit. I spoke with Mr. Foster back in July regarding the audit points that were presented by Lauterbach and Amen. And one of the big points is that Pike County does not have any financial procedures or policies in place. And that's a big problem, because if we did, it would be really easy for, I'm not going to live forever. None of us are going to live forever. We're all going to be replaced by new office holders and new board members and everything. But if we had financial policies and procedures in place, like the auditors suggest that we should do, then it would be really easy, because we have a question, where should that go? Right here, it's in our policies and procedures. And then that provides good directive for whoever the treasurer is to make sure that that goes in that particular slot, and that's how it's consistently reported. Because, that's why I was confused, I guess. I couldn't find the 120,000 because it was treated differently than the 70,000, even though it was from the same place and for the same reason. It's in two different spots. And so it has to be hopefully corrected, so it's put in the same spot for the reports next month as opposed to next month. But bottom line is, we have these audits that are going to quickly start coming in, believe it or not. And I want to make sure that we're addressing that particular audit point so that we can get some procedures and policies in place and adopted by the board so that we satisfy that. It's going to help us tremendously going into the future, and it's also going to keep the state of Illinois off our back by having that in place. It's going to make the auditors happy. I think it's going to make everybody happy. So I would really I know everyone's busy, but I would really like to get that back on the agenda for next month so that we can start addressing that and putting policies and procedures in place. So, yeah, great point. If you don't have accurate reports, you can't make good decisions.
And to that point, so for example, going through the budget and rebuilding what Mr. Shepard had put together on the spreadsheet, we have budgeted line items in the budget but they're not being accounted for in CIC correctly. So as an example, there's a Fund 18 that has all of our expenses and everything to do with health insurance, but there is no Fund 18 on the spreadsheet for the budget. So I don't understand how expenses were even being paid out of a line item that didn't have budget amounts to it.
Well, that's a question for the treasurer.
I didn't think the treasurer paid expenses.
But he's in charge of tracking everything.
Okay,
I mean, he's the only person who is statutorily authorized to provide reports that this board relies on.
but if he
So
didn't,
I understand that there are other offices involved and whatnot, but at the end of the day, the reports have to come from him.
so if another office pays an expense out of the wrong line item, it's the treasurer's job to fix it and put it in the,
Well, again, we don't have any policies and procedures in place on anything. And so everything's loosey-goosey right now. All I'm saying is that at the end of the day, he has to prepare the reports that are accurate so that this board can make correct decisions. I mean, you use the exact word that is universally used in accounting or anything. Garbage in, garbage out. You can have the best accounting software in the world, and if you're putting garbage in, you're going to get garbage out. If you have a really bad software program, you can put the best information in the world into it, and you're not going to get good stuff coming on the backside. But that's where policies and procedures are going to be great for the board and for office holders going forward. That's why I'm saying it's a really, really important, and it would really, I go a long way, I believe, towards cutting all these arguments that we've had for many, many years and clearing them off the table, because we're going to have clear lines of authority, clear lines of procedures that have all been discussed, all been hashed out, and will allow whoever the treasurer is, because again, none of us are going to be here forever, whoever the treasurer is going to have a system and a policies and procedures in place that allow them to prepare accurate reports that are consistent so that this board could make decisions. That's all I'm saying.
Derek, I can speak to the funding team, if you'd like to.
I don't know that we need to, because the point is that I thought the policy and procedure was, the policy is we adopt a budget and the procedure is to pay from the budget.
Right, those are expenses, right? As far as you're aware, I don't know. I tried to get your funding team in 2019. I was told by the treasurer's office, right, we can do that. That's how it has to be done and utilized. When I got multiple emails where we were told that that's how it has to work, is through the non-budget fund. I brought it up to with Lee. We also discussed it with signature auditors, because I don't remember using any funds. They claim that they use that as a clearing account, so it doesn't have any expenses tied to it, only as a clearing account, so it's only transactions.
Okay. So and this is one of the things that we're going to be getting on is health insurance. How much does the county contribute towards health insurance? Out of all the reports that I've seen, I don't know that there's really a report that you can say, here's what Pike County has paid towards health insurance.
You can't, because when other departments, and I think you could have discovered this, right? You would have talked about your flow when you pay your health insurance, right? It's not being credited back to the county when the health department's paying their portion of the health insurance. I'm not sure. Still would be interesting.
But there,
The income tax we're bringing out, and I can see where the deposits go in for our portion of one of the insurances, that there's not always matching credits to everything.
okay.
But I don't have access to everything to tie it all out. So how it's budgeted in the budget that was approved is that those would be income. They were budgeted in your Fund 11. So when those deposits are being made, then the voucher needs to be made credit your revenue line, your Fund 11, for your health insurance reimbursements. And then they need to debit that for the specific transaction to go to the clearing account, and the check goes out the door to pay for the lump sum of the health insurance. Those things are the standard financial procedures that I guess aren't being done.
If you put it into that fund, though, it'd be gone by the time you got ready to pay the health insurance.
I don't think that matters, I'm just trying to
The-
explain to you where it's budgeted and why it's not reflecting in there, because it's not crediting that. I sent an email to that 7 months ago, hey, we're not crediting this, this is what's in the budget. So the budget's only as good as you work it.
Fund 18 just needs to be amended and added into the budget appropriations to where it can be drawn from it, because if you put the highway department reimbursement, the ambulance reimbursement, and the health department's reimbursement into the general fund, it's gone. You'll never see it again. When it come time to pay the insurance, you wouldn't have it.
But where's it going now?
It's going into the health insurance fund, the Fund
Like a
18.
separate checking account, health
The
insurance?
Fund 18,
But it's in
no,
a separate checking account, or it's in the same checking account as,
it's going into the health insurance fund.
but that's a separate checking account?
Yeah.
So there's extra money in one
And
checking account for health
When it comes
insurance?
time to draw it, they draw it from it, and then we draw from, I'm not sure where they pull the general fund portion from. It's not being pulled from the right line when it's being cut.
So when you're saying we've got 70,000 in our checking account for the general fund, that's not including however much money sitting in this
No,
health insurance
it does
fund?
not, no.
Okay.
I mean, we can put it in the general fund if that's where you guys want it to go, but I guarantee you it'll be gone by the time you get ready to pay the health insurance.
Well,
And then you're gonna be digging for it.
whether it's physically in the general fund's checking account or not is immaterial to me as far as the accounting. Because we had accounted for $410,000 of health reimbursement and we've got 12,000. I don't even know where the 12,000 came from, but it's just not being accounted for correctly. Policies, procedures, whatever you want to call it, it's very difficult when anybody is trying to sit down with reports to figure out what does this county spend and where. And I just based off of our CIC reports, and then we get into the spreadsheets that we get and what is estimated compared to what's actually been spent. That's been difficult too. That's where I had hoped that, and I didn't get anywhere with it. I haven't had a chance to reach out to the county clerk or not. We had the budget prep, and I had hoped that the budget prep software in CIC would use past year's data of what's been paid out of those line items to be able to see what future expenses may be. And that's what I've always understood. When you're doing budgeting, you should estimate what you think you're going to spend to the end of the year, what you spent last year, and then that's supposed to help you try and give some guidance of what you think you're going to spend for the next year. So that's what I've been trying to work off of, is I filled out the 2024 based off of all the expenses that were in CIC, but that's an unaudited number, so I don't know how accurate that is. I put in what was appropriated off of the budget on the spreadsheet that's on the website that was passed last year. And then I went into the estimated side and said, I'm going to look at what's been spent so far this year and divided that by 0.75 to get the 3 months or the 3 quarters to try and annualize what that number was. And by doing all of that, right now, the revenues compared to expenses estimated, we're still about $800,000 in the hole. We're about $800,000 less in revenue than was budgeted for expenses. And I've yet to figure out where I mean, that's why we have to continue to borrow, and we've been borrowing since 2 months ago, is because we don't have enough revenue coming in to pay for those expenses. And as we continue to borrow money, and we borrow $200,000 now, and we borrow another $200,000, that's $400,000 of next year's dollars we don't have to budget for. We can't use next year $400,000 because we've already spent it this year. So that means we have to cut next year's budget another $400,000 to pay for what we've just borrowed for this year. And I know there have been people that have talked about we need to raise taxes. Even if we raise our taxes on the EAV to the cap of the 37, we're only going to collect an extra $200,000 in taxes.
What would happen if you didn't short this year's?
What's that?
What would happen if you didn't short this year's?
156,000.
What would have happened if we didn't short?
This year's taxes?
We would only be in the hole maybe $650,000. I don't understand that logic. I mean, it's like, okay, well, if you need 12 pints of blood or 12 pints of blood to live, but we gave you 11, that should be good enough. Well,
You never made the budget. You never made the budget to match your revenue. You kept the revenue, you kept the budget expenditures the same, even though you kept the revenue coming in. So you never passed anything that actually changed the numbers of what your budgeted expenditures were. to match
But what
your
we
revenue.
did do is we made up for that loss of.
well, no, not even that point. Even if we would have amended the budget to reflect what the liability, or I mean, what the general fund brought in, how do we fix the $650,000 that's not there?
It never balanced to begin with.
Oh, it balanced. I mean, there were numbers plugged in to make it balance.
But there was phantom revenue in it.
Well, there was a $500,000 in other, in order to make it balance. So, I mean, it's pretty easy to look at the budget on the website and see the numbers that were plugged in to make it zero out. But there was no $500,000 of revenue that was going to be coming in. That's what we've been waiting for.
So why do our revenue sheets right now that we have say we're $800,000 ahead in our revenue? Our CIC reports right now, as I ran them today, said that we've taken $800,000 more in revenue than we've expended. I'd like to know that answer.
Well, I'm going to have to say it's wrong.
Exactly. Like
So-
all of it.
Well,
So how can you pull up any of this if all the reports are wrong and one person's responsible for sending them out? It's infuriating.
well, I'm trying to go off of what's been spent based off of the reports that I can get. I mean, we didn't change anything this year. These are the same reports and the same information that's been coming in for the last 20 years.
One transaction, right, or one approved transaction that was done, two different timeframes were done two different ways. That's just one transaction. How many other deposits are being handled like that? Money split in places that's not accounted for, a funding team that's not gonna be on a budget sheet, or anywhere else that's sitting there. How do you know what any of that is until you account for all of it? We don't even know what money we have. You're saying that we have a negative health department balance. That's not true. Like, at what point in time are we gonna have accurate reports?
I'm a Pike County board member and my job is to set the budget. I don't understand how reports not being accurate is our fault, our problem.
Asking what the transactions are.
The what?
Asking what the transactions are. And why the numbers are what they are.
Is-
That's the question. And talking to department heads about what their actual numbers are, what their actual expenses are. Like, you know, the departments got together, we asked for a meeting with the chairman, she refused to meet with us.
So the CIC expenses are not accurate expenses.
The expenses are accurate. All your accounts payable are, I mean, the department has control this. They tell us exactly what line items to take things out of, take them out of where they're approved. They've got board member signatures on, or department head signatures on. That's all done. That's all we really have to do.
Okay, so based off of that, there's $6 million, we'll say, of expenses. We don't have $6 million of revenue. So therefore, we have to,
Not according to a report. How do you know we don't? We got a report that says we had 5 million or 4 million in expenses, but we had 5 million in revenue. It says we have $800,000 right now, overage.
so I guess I'm trying to figure out what you're implying. The report says one thing, but our checking account says another. So are you trying to say just let the checks go and see if they clear?
No, I'm trying to see where, what report tells us what's accurate. I just want to know, what am I supposed to look at to try to get you accurate numbers? Because like you said, you have to have accurate numbers. It's up to we run our own departments. It's up to us to give you the numbers that we need for budgets for next year. We know what our expenses are. We know what our employment's gonna be. And so therefore, we have to have accurate numbers too, and what's in accounts and various things to be able to provide them to you. And basically, we've had someone tell us for the past 6 years that the reports are crap. And we can't get accurate numbers either. So who in this county has accurate numbers?
I'm trying to put something together the best I can based off of the information I have available.
Okay.
What else can I do?
Ask the person responsible for our numbers.
Are you questioning the bank balance,
I'm questioning all of it, yes.
including the payroll?
All of it. We just literally have a statement that says, we passed a report out, an official report, we sent out saying health department's $12,000 negative. We know that's not true. They've got money in there. So the answer is, yeah, I sent the report out as an official report, but we didn't do any adjustments on it yet. We didn't reconcile it yet. So my question is, all of these things are different. When are we gonna get true answers to what our stuff is?
But that's not, we can deal with that. Any organization that deals with budget reports, revenue reports, expense reports, you're always working at a point in time. It's always a moving.
They're never reconciled until after that month,
So.
because you have to wait till after
That
the
doesn't
last day of the
bother me.
month
That
before
doesn't
you can
bother
even
me.
get the
The
bank
thing
statements.
What bothers me is that some of you think we're okay, that there's money out there.
I don't know that anybody said we're okay, we would have been okay if the levy wasn't shorted.
No, we would not have. We would not have.
Okay, well, we will agree to disagree on that one.
But then if that's the case, if that's what you believe, then you believe we're only in the hole about $150,000.
Likely, yeah.
Then why do we have to borrow so far $250,000 to even continue to pay the expenses when we still have 2 months left of the year?
Where's the money?
I have a question on that, because now I'm really confused. Because I was at the full board meeting in August, and we talked about this rather extensively. And I'd have to go back and look, but somebody said we need to get to the rest of the year till November 30th. Soup to nuts, we need an extra about $230,000, and we'll be good. And then Mr. Shepherd said, well, how about we round it up to 250 just to make sure we have a cushion? And that was discussed ad nauseum in August.
But we didn't say we would be good.
I never said 230.
Scott
I never said
specifically said he
230.
didn't think that would be enough. And if I remember correctly, Jim, you said, then we can come back and borrow more.
Well,
No, there was not agreement that 250 was going to be enough.
I said it wasn't going to be enough. I said it'd be closer to 5.
I never heard that.
Yeah.
I never heard it was going to be closer to 5. I'll go back and look.
I said that may get us through September, what he said, but, and it didn't even do that.
Well, regardless of maybe what was said, I'm coming up with we're about $800,000 short. When I originally discussed this in our budget deficit at the beginning of the year, I saw that it was going to be short, but the thing is that there were revenues in there and I didn't know what they were. I didn't know where $500,000 of revenue was coming from, so I said I would wait for the rest of the year to see how it played out. As far as accurate reports are concerned, I think the first accurate report we need to have is a budget. So if we have a budget that says, here's what we're anticipating as revenue and here's what we're anticipating as expenses, then we have to go off of what we think the budget's going to be. Now, granted, we didn't do the truth in taxation, so we were short on the general fund collection of about $130,000. But again, there is other revenues that were earmarked and accounted for in the budget that was passed, we have not received. And my question back is, when are we going to get that? Where are we ever going to get it?
That $300,000, that $500,000 was for a grant, it was for the roof of the government building, right? That didn't come in, so that's kind of exists.
Well, but even then, if it were $500,000, it was going to go against a capital outlay for a government building, then there would have been, I mean, that we didn't spend the $500,000, so we wouldn't need to collect the $500,000. Well, we just had a hail claim, so we're kind of in the middle of doing that. So, but back to the $500,000 and other. There's just 505 other just thrown in there, but no notes or anything on what that was. And I just don't anticipate. Did I ask? Well, there's been numerous questions asked during numerous board meetings about, yes.
So you specifically said, what makes up this 500 and some thousand?
I-
You're saying you didn't get any answers?
No, Jim answered that question, that it was the grant in the meeting, but, and
So you do know?
and I think I asked it, my response was that we were already under a,
But-
no pay list, why are we figuring grant funds in there, but
Right.
it was, yeah.
Right, so you know what it is.
Is that what it is? We didn't get $500,000 in grant money to pay our regular day-to-day bills, or to pay?
You said you didn't get an answer, but Liz just said you got an answer. I'm just trying to understand, so I feel like every month we have a conversation, the story changes from one month to the next, the goalpost keeps moving. I just want to make sure that it's putting us in tough situations as elected officials, and I want to make sure that we're doing the best that we
I'm with you. I agree. I can't do it either. I'm trying the best I can based off of the reports I can get, because I think the numbers don't lie.
Yep.
So in other words, expenses are expenses, revenues are revenues, and at the,
They're not in the right place, and they don't see this important picture, so that's a lie,
well,
right? I mean, if you're really looking at revenues and you had a transfer and you are missing, you know, thousands of dollars out of that transfer that is not gonna reflect on your sheet, that's distorting what your actual financial situation is.
so yes, the budget was distorted by having more revenue than we were going to collect.
I'm not talking about the budget, I'm talking about your account balance.
That's the whole point, is the budget.
I just brought that back up, Derek.
That we just, well, I guess we will agree to disagree, except that what I can say, based off of the spreadsheet that I've sent out, based off of the expenses that were calculated to the end of August, and then taking that and estimating what the end of the year expenses would be for the county, off of what we budgeted and what it looks like we're going to spend, there's about an $800,000 deficit. I apologize if the levy didn't reflect the extra 120,000 in there, but we would still be in the same problem. So, I'm, what's that?
Truth and taxation.
That hasn't been determined yet.
Probably,
Yeah, I,
probably.
If it wasn't done, we can all agree this year, if it wasn't done and create a shortage, the next year, we go through it again, we're creating a shortage on purposes.
yeah, but again, and I'm not saying it won't happen. I can tell you that there are a lot of people saying, don't raise my taxes. So of course, we're trying to figure out a way to not raise taxes, you know, and that balloon gets squeezed a couple different ways. I mean, we may be able to raise the general fund, but may be able to lower some of the other ones to where the overall tax increase stays below the 5%. So that number hasn't really been looked at or manipulated yet. But to that point, Bryce, we're only going to collect another $200,000 if we max it out. And we already spent that. So yeah, we'll collect the extra taxes, but we already spent it this year.
And we already cut out the difference in the levy we didn't collect. So we cut that out right at the beginning, so we're still operating on a.
I realize that, treating this 200,000 like it wasn't.
Can I just interrupt? I'm really getting requests on my phone that people use mics. So I don't know if maybe, if you're speaking from the audience, if you could come up and
Okay.
grab a mic for that. And I don't want to have to sit here and forever hold my peace. I appreciate everything you guys have said, and I realize I'm just one person. I may be one person in the minority. But at this point, I am opposed to doing anything to raise taxes in any form or fees. And I realize as we go through this whole process, we're in such a situation that I may be forced to have to reconsider that, but I don't think that's where we should start. I think we need to take a look at the budget and make sure it's as lean as we can make it before we start looking at trying to find other revenues. Just my one opinion, not the whole board.
If I may, sit down the microphone.
Please, there's one here.
Sit down here.
Are there a Scott?
So Scott used to send out major revenue sources, and I appreciate that. And I haven't seen that for a couple months, and that's okay. But if you look at those and you fill in the blanks where we haven't gotten for a couple months, you look at the major revenue, it's not behind it's not that far behind. You're talking 800,000. We're nowhere near 800,000 below the major revenue sources, going by the numbers I'm given. And I appreciate your time, Derek, on doing your estimates. You're going to using 8 months. Well, we had a nice check in between 11:10 a.m. and 11:05 a.m. or whatever. There was a $56,000 difference, or well, 56 compared to, I'm sorry, 20-some thousand. So our office revenue at the end of the year will be maybe a little low from estimate, but I also didn't take into account that the scales outside of town would be broke down, and there also was a guy that retired out there. So there's some revenue down just from that. I didn't have any way of knowing that was gonna happen, but, and our grants that our offices have been able to get, should have our expenses that you didn't have to buy. I mean, there should be money left in there. That being said, if you base your budget next year off of what I actually spent, it's gonna be a low number because of the grants that came in. Just wanna forecast that for everybody. Looks like I spent $4 when you're gonna budget $4 when I got grants for thousands. So please take that into consideration when you're looking at budget numbers. So the major revenue source thing, I guess, I don't, if we're meeting that or coming close to that, why is there such a big number that you're talking about for,
That's what we're trying to figure out.
that
That's
the
same-
budgeted numbers, what I was been watching?
Yeah, and Bryce, I think I sent you the spreadsheet. There is $101,909 that is a duplicate reimbursement for probation. So that's a revenue source that we counted twice. So there's 100,000 that we're not getting. There is $410,000 of health reimbursement arrangement or health reimbursement that was figured into our revenue to be put against our expenses, but there hasn't been anything accounted for in there. And then there is the $505,000 of other.
Yeah.
So there's $1 million of extra revenue that was figured into the budget to put against all of the expenses that you guys come up with that we don't have. So when you're looking at major revenue sources, there's $1 million of revenue sources that we haven't collected, but was used for the budget process.
Well,
And
I'm
that's
just-
where
I'm
I'm
just
saying we're
looking at
missing
that
it.
8 or 10 of them that I've been given every month.
Yeah,
That's what I'm going by.
I
and
know.
what my office goes by.
I know.
And so that money's there from our office. I don't know where you guys have, where that's all gone. But once again, we've given money to the general fund and gotten grants coming in on this side. You got our automation fund, document storage, clerk ops, e-citation, all that. That's been covered by grants. So these revenue sources, property tax, county clerk fees, circuit clerk fees, I'd have to pull the list out. I don't have it with me. Those are what I've been going by. I realize you must have much more than that, but where did that, you're going to ask me in the future here to make up for that. I guess it's what's coming. I see it coming.
I can go back and start doing those major revenue sources. The reason I quit is because I wanted you to look at the overall revenue from the report.
Well, I appreciate it.
I mean, that's the reason that I did away with it. I wanted you to look at all of it.
No, and I appreciate that, Scott, and I've taken what you did and what Bryce is looking at, and I didn't realize that those September numbers were pretty much complete through
Yeah.
through 9/12, but through August, and that's 75%, and we're talking major revenue, so that's county clerk, circuit clerk, personal property tax, sheriff, sales use tax, income tax. The 9-month average budget for that was about 2.1 million in budgeted expected for the first 9 months. And the actual that we brought in was over 2.2 million. So on those major revenue sources, we're 57,000 ahead. Now, I know everyone's hung up on the 500,000 other revenue that was in the budget. But, you know, in August, you got 83,270 that the county clerk found, and that's slotted in there as other revenue. So that's about 20% of the so-called, you know, phantom $500,000 revenue. And we've talked about how the other things have been plugged, the 150,000 on the levy and other things. And so, you know, I look at the numbers and based upon, again, I'll have to go back and look, but based upon what I heard at the full board meeting in August and what you reported and what was discussed, I can't figure out how, I'm sorry, I can't figure out how we're 800,000 in the hole and how that number is relevant to what's gonna get us to the end of the year. So how much do you think it's gonna take for us to get to the end of the year?
500,000
More
total. No, not more, total.
total? And I'll go back and look, and you said that in August?
I didn't say that in August. I said that wouldn't get us through. When Mr. Shepherd said 240, I said that wouldn't get us through. We'd be lucky if it got us through September.
But nobody in August said 500.
No, I didn't.
Okay, and really nothing's changed since the meeting in August.
The thing, the bigger revenue sources basically just covers the payroll. That's about it.
And we're ahead.
It basically just covers the payroll, but then you got all your finance, building and grounds, you've got your health insurance, all the other stuff on top of it.
Right.
But the major revenue sources that, for instance, my office or our office has been budgeted, we're close. And this doesn't include the 21,000, 22,000.
Yeah, I haven't done September yet.
That's not even, I mean, it's in the 11:10 a.m. report, it's not in the 11:05 a.m. report, which is where I was lost. But these figures here where we're 57,000 up on the actual budget doesn't include that windfall.
I'll have to calculate that. I'll go back to putting that revenue sources out there. The only reason I quit is I wanted you to look at the overall picture.
No, I get it, but what I'm trying to say is that in a lot of areas across the board, we're ahead. We're ahead, and you picked up 83,270 that the county clerk found, and you know, like Bryce has been trying to help out. I'm gobsmacked that you're saying it's gonna be 500,000 total. So you're saying you need another $250,000 to get through the end of the year, cash.
It'll probably be close to that.
Okay, I never heard that at the meeting last month.
Well, I didn't give a total for the
why
entire year.
And this is what I'm getting at that frustrates us board members and why we tried to talk about it, is it's a surprise every month. It's a surprise every month.
We've been talking about this ever since
You've been
December.
talking about it every month, but you didn't talk about it when we talked about it in August. This is the first time I've heard it's gonna cost.
I didn't know how short we were gonna be. I never know each month.
And there's the problem.
Revenue varies too much. Expenditures vary too much. Payroll was 186,000 for the general fund, last pay period.
It is not impossible to predict it. It's right here. It's right here. You know, I'm just amazed. It's not that hard. It's not that hard. So I'm done.
Anyway, I'm just watching our office revenues, and as the state revenues come down, our office revenues, even though we may have come a little bit short, we're not. We've done pretty good at guessing that. Nothing, and the other little twist of things that you may not be aware of, we started doing schedule of accountabilities. The state is probably, they don't require it yet, but they may require auditors to do what they call schedule of accountabilities. That's another day. But what happens when you do schedule of accountabilities is you have, at the end of the last day roughly of the November, which is the last working day of the fiscal year, they want reconciliation on those bank accounts not to be in December. So November is a high number, December is a low number, if that makes any sense. I just want you to be aware that when November comes around, it's going to be a high number, and December is going to be low, just like this one. This one was 21,000 when it was budgeted 31. So we started off the year looking really ugly at my office. And I think between this case that Walker got solved and November's numbers, we're going to be over. I'm just talking about our office on that. So I hope you consider when you do budgets and you do cuts, sounds like you're going to do cuts, that we pay for ourselves, we help you pay, we've got grants, our revenues aren't far off. I'm just, what to say, I mean, you're talking 800,000, that's not, I have my hands full in my office. I'm sorry that you guys have to deal with that, but
Okay, Bryce, I'm gonna kind of cut you off.
Thank you.
Because we've got a
Thanks for
lot of,
listening.
we've got a lot of numbers that's been thrown out here. I do not have some of them. I think we need to set up another finance committee meeting with some more numbers that you guys have all talked about so that we can discuss this in further detail and do a better job of seeing where we're at. So I want to continue on.
I would just like to point out the policies and procedures are not only going to affect the treasurer's office, but they'll affect every office. Because it's going to eliminate revenue going back into lines, expense lines, everything that's appropriated in your budget. Your salaries are all going to have to be appropriated in it. They're all going to have to be lined out and spelled out in the appropriations.
Okay, we've gone over a lot of this on the budget, but I want to set up another meeting where I have more information to be able to put out here. Just one moment, I got you. So I'm going to end it there. We have other meetings tonight, and I have a previous commitment myself that I'm going to need to leave for shortly. So your question, right quick, down there, and then,
So I just wanted to request that someone follow up with me about the $100,000 that was just mentioned that was in revenue for probation that we apparently didn't get. I don't know what that's referring of. It's September and I've never heard that statement until now. The only thing I can think of we get as revenue is our salary reimbursements. And if we didn't get that revenue, well, then we didn't get that, we didn't spend that money.
And that's what-
Unless it's getting reported as like a timing thing, I'm not sure. So
Okay.
I know that I don't personally understand all of that, so if someone can follow up with me, so I understand better, I would appreciate that.
I will work on that, and that's what I'm talking about. I don't have
Yeah.
enough information here to continue this properly. So I want to set up a new meeting at some other point. When I can finally get the information, we will publish it as need be.
I think, Evan, so we've received $239,000 from probation for reimbursement, but then if you go down further, there was another $101 for reimbursement again from probation. And I think the 101 was included in your 239. So if you're trying to say that there's supposed to be $310 or $340,000 reimbursed from probation, that'd be great. So maybe there is $100,000. Mr. Shepherd's shaking his head that maybe we were supposed to get another 101. Nope.
Okay.
Okay. So the 101 that we were supposed to get for this year, we got early. Okay. So that 101 then should have been zero. So that shouldn't have been included. Okay. So there's your question answered, I guess. I guess we got it the year before, but didn't, I don't know. I don't know if we're supposed to count it in this budget or not count it in this budget because it's not in here as a revenue. So I guess, I don't know if it should have been under a period 13, so it would have tracked in this year. So we could have counted in this year, but maybe it was counted in last year. But it doesn't sound like it's your problem. So yeah, so I apologize if you took it that way. It wasn't anything you did. It was just reading what's in the spreadsheet. So,
Okay.
all right.
Can I ask
Go ahead,
just
Rita.
one thing, and I'm sorry, I can't really reach a mic very well. If Scott's still here, one thing I would like us to do today is to try and come up with a recommendation for the full board for Monday, what we need to raise the borrowing to. I mean, if we're saying 500, including the 250 that's already been done, Should we go on record with that and recommend that to the full board, or?
I'm not recommending any borrowing until somebody can tell me how it's going to get paid out. I mean, I don't want to borrow money if we can't figure out a way to pay it off. The more we borrow now is the less we've got to use next year. And plus, I don't know where we're going to borrow it from because liability insurance is tapped out. I don't know who else has money or what other fund has money that we could actually borrow against. So that'll be another problem that we'll have to come up with. But I mean,
Yeah, the short answer really is that particular issue is not on the finance agenda.
all right.
Well, the budget issues are, I mean, I'm not looking for a motion or something. I'm just, would like to not have to repeat this whole episode at the full board meeting. If we
Well,
can
we're going
avoid
to
it.
have to.
And we either have to borrow, or we have to say we're not gonna pay these bills tonight.
Well,
If there's another option,
yeah, well,
please let me
Well,
know.
I would recommend that you put that specific issue on the agenda for Monday night.
And I intend to, and I would like to be specific and put forward, some sort of estimated dollar amount. I mean, does anyone have anything different other than the 500? Jim, do you disagree with that,
Well,
or?
again, it wasn't on the agenda, so
So we
nobody was
can't-
prepared to discuss that here
No,
tonight.
we
That's
can't.
fine.
And that's fine, nobody has to.
Well, you're asking for feedback.
So what's the harm in somebody giving feedback if they have it?
Put it on Monday's agenda. We'll get feedback then. Okay, so now move on to the current expenses.
sure.
What are we going to do on that?
What do we need? Are you looking for a motion to pay?
I got expenses here of, we have 3 that we've pulled out. One of them wasn't due yet. The other 2 were questionable. So we ended up with a total of $92,236.85 of unpaid, with $2,472.89 of prepaid bills, for a grand total $94,709.74.
Right. I'd make a motion to pay those bills.
A second.
Okay. Motion's been made and seconded to pay this amount. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, the same. Motion carried to be sent to the full board. Okay. The only other thing that has been on there that's been bounced around is some budget issues here, CIC and Paycom, payroll issues, and the county's contribution toward health insurance. I want to table those 2 until we have more information and can present it at a finance meeting. I realize Monday is the full board meeting. If the chairman wants to put it on the full board meeting, that's fine. We'll discuss it then. Otherwise, we need to get together after I get more information and have a finance meeting.
All right. The CIC and Paycom, I assume we haven't gotten anywhere to where that's working yet, so, yeah, just, well, we'll just table it till the next month. It doesn't need to be done at this very moment, because,
Listen, just real quick, so I have been working on it with Kathy, and we have identified all of the issues, and we are waiting for an answer.
So,
With
fingers-
Paycom
Okay,
today,
so we are working on it.
Okay.
all identified.
great. So maybe we'll have an answer by next month that it's going to work, and perfect.
That would be
Oh,
my hope.
all right.
Yes, the only
Thank
thing
you.
we're having an issue with is getting bank statements to kind of reconcile stuff. We can send those, I sent an email today, asking you to show me the carry account bank statement for tonight. You got it. So and we can get those, and that way what we're trying to do is back into the mapping.
Okay.
I used to talk about the HSA problems because that was mapped to the Fund 18. It's not budgeted, so we're gonna get kind of those as we go through. And really, we're gaining, I think now we're down to probably less than $100 in differences. The main issue is for anybody that has a stipend, so if someone is working in the health department and is getting a stipend from a different source, there's an issue with the amount of tax, I believe.
Okay.
That's the issue that's being attributed to that. That's why So where this account is off, $2 this way, and this account is off $2 that way. So I just have them looking at their algorithm to see if it's there or if it's in a button that we need to push somewhere that says allocate it differently. So
Sounds good.
my brain's a little befuddled with it right now, so I'm
That's fine.
look at it. But
You're making progress, so that's all I needed to hear. And the final thing on the health insurance, I think we're all agreeing to disagree, but I think by the board meeting, we're gonna have to know, do we have a deficit or not have a deficit? If we have a deficit now, I don't know how we contribute more towards something when we don't even have enough to pay for what we've got. But that's gonna have to be decided on, what is the county going to pay towards health insurance? I don't wanna try and throw a dollar amount out today, because as I said, I've shared the spreadsheet. Anybody wants a spreadsheet, email me. Everybody can see this is supposed to be transparent, so everybody can see the numbers I'm working off of. I want to be proven wrong. I want to say, I want to hear that there is really money out here that we didn't account for, but I haven't found it, and nobody else has told me where it's at. So if it's there, great, but if it's not, we've got to deal with what we've got. I mean, it's the hand we were dealt, so. But that's, I would just ask, and for public record here, that we do look at stuff and then hopefully have an answer on what we're gonna, because the employees, the open enrollment's in October, right? So we need to be able to say, here's what we're gonna pay towards benefits, so the employees know how much it's gonna cost out of their check. So I believe we need to make that determination at the board meeting on Monday on what we're gonna spend, so the employees can know what their cost is. So I would encourage everybody to hopefully look at it and then be able to make a recommendation or come up with an answer. So that's all I had. Thank you.
Okay. I don't have anything else on my list. On my list of things for this month. So I'm in favor of a motion to adjourn.
I needed a second.
Yeah, motion to adjourn. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought we had public comment already.
Well, you had a lot of comment that was recognized by the chair.
Okay, excuse me. Thank you, sir. Is there any public comment to go along with tonight's meeting? Okay. Oh, I got one. Walker? What was it? Why? It's been done in other meetings. I assumed that it was procedure to sign in who the guests were. I've done it at other meetings to show who was there and maybe put names with comments if necessary. Yeah. Okay, all right. Now, other public comment? We satisfied, Walter? As legal counsel? Okay. We have a motion to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same. Motion adjourned. 5:34.
Can you show me? Same stuff on my spreadsheet.